Rooftop Chitchat in London, episode 2, and now we have 3 guests with us. So let's start from here. We start to introduce ourselves.
Why is it always me first? So
Because
you're next to two, so
yeah.
my name is Kieran Ofahi. I am a media professional who got into filmmaking completely by accident. My heritage is Irish and Caribbean, or Black Irish, if you like. I like that one, Black Irish. Cool. Makes me think of stout. We love stout. We're not doing stereotypes today, but we love stout. Should I say what my name means? I feel like I got it out there before.
Go for it.
And I felt like...
Well, I like that idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently it means dark prince. So little dark prince, diminutive, dark-skinned of royalty in Gaelic.
Wow.
I don't want no Irish people in the comments coming at me about how that's absolute nonsense, but I think that's what I was told. So that's that. Grew up in South East London all my life, and yeah, that's me.
Hello, my name is Ray Roberts. I'm a filmmaker, director, and content creator. I got started in filmmaking when I was about 12 years old. I used to make YouTube videos back then, doing little comedy sketches, and then somehow that turned into a career. And yeah, I've just been making videos all my life, and I don't know any other life. And I live in London, but I am not from London originally. I'm from Salisbury, which is where Stonehenge is, if you know that. And I'm Filipino-British.
My name is Charlotte. I'm a filmmaker. I'm also a director and script supervisor. I started to do filmmaking, I think, since high school. So I came here for master. I studied in Goldsmith's filmmaking course, directing pathway. My BA is documentary. So I do short films and also documentaries. Right now I'm running a production company. It's a patchwork film studio. Yeah, so it's a female lead company. And we do commercial, fashion film, music videos, and short films. Yeah, basically it's like this.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So talking about that, can we all talk a little bit about what you guys are doing, and do you have your own studio or company, and just tell us more about that.
So I graduated last year in summer, and after that I don't know what to do. So I start bartending for like 2-3 months. And then there was an opportunity, and we start to think, how about we do something by ourselves. So that's why we start to do this. So literally we start this company last month. So it's quite new. So we are still figuring what's the best type of the things we really want to do. We're still figuring out this. Yeah. But right now we are also doing short drama as well. Yeah, and we also do commercial. So
you mean the vertical drama?
Yeah, vertical drama.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Let me know what that is? Can we do
So
that?
it's vertical type of drama, and it's short. So it'll be short, maybe 1 minute or 3 minutes. This kind of duration.
Per episode, you mean?
And it has a lot of episodes.
Okay.
And it's super drama.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's super intense.
Yeah, super intense.
short.
Yeah, and super drama.
Portrait format?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's just bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
It's okay, great.
It's like the modern day
Yeah.
TV.
Sounds
I
sort
don't
of like
believe
drugs.
you guys
Do you know
never
what I mean?
heard it.
In a way, yeah.
No, I feel I'm too old. It sounds like a young person's thing. I
I'll
got
have to check out your thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It's not that cool actually.
I mean, I can explain that because vertical drama, I think it started to go viral a few years ago in China. Why it's called vertical? Because we mainly use our phone to watch it. It's really fast paced. And also very dramatic, really cheesy plots, and also character.
It sounds very Asian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think first of all, it's mostly targeted at women
Okay.
who likes to watch, K-dramas and cheesy dramas like that. And then it just make them really, convenient to be watched. So it's always on the phone. And then
My mum would love it
Yeah.
by the sounds of it.
When I first watched it, and I was thinking, do people actually watch it? Because the content is so stereotypical.
Yeah.
I'm an actor, and like I've seen like casting calls for those. Like it literally just says he is super handsome, childhood friend of like the main girl.
So like Ranma half and
Yeah, kind of like those. Like,
oh shit, okay.
And then
I'm kind of down. I'm down. I'm down.
He's the boss in the dark past. Like, all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, they all fell in the same pond, basically. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's all like meeting people's fantasies.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, this sounds fun. That sounds totally fun, right?
Yeah.
It's
So-
fun, but if you do that for a long term, I feel like you were lost some part of your creativity. Obviously,
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you find having to condense things down into tight, fast-paced episodes kind of pushes a certain side of your creativity? So I used to make music with a guy called Nathan Lee. He's a flautist, right? And because he's like an avant-garde flautist, like you feel like, okay, we're gonna, really kind of luxuriate and indulge ourselves in this beautiful piece. And he used to say, bro, 2 minutes of that is boring, just get rid of it. And he always used to say, does it bang? Right? Is it essential? Is it, and then like anything that isn't, get rid of it. Get rid of it. I was leading up to this bit, I was going to lead you into that, get rid of it. Like that's all nonsense, he used to basically say. And I wonder, slicing out things, right, from the things that you make is the hardest thing to do, right? It's one of the higher levels of discipline in most arts. And I think filmmaking and music probably very much so, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think it sharpens your shit doing that?
maybe, but it's all it's all depends on the story itself. So if the story is it deserves to be like this, then that's okay. But if the story it doesn't have that much to do with it, so even though you make the pacing faster, it's still it's just this kind of work.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to romanticize it.
You're thinking more positive way.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or like, yeah.
I think it's quite interesting because it's not necessarily this idea of condensing stuff down. It's not a super new concept. Like YouTubers have been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
And like I think now we're seeing people who are doing like YouTube like comedy sketches and things like that. Like 1 minute, 3 minute long sketches. They are now working as filmmakers in the industry, making even feature length films.
Right.
And what I find interesting is there's been quite a few, but I've lost their name. But they made the film Talk to Me. You seen that? It's a horror film.
No.
A lot of YouTubers who were making short stories online that were obviously had to be really sharp and quick. They're going into things like horror,
Okay.
where I think there are parallels in like being able to convey something very, very clearly and establish something very quick. Going into a genre like horror, I think there's quite a lot of crossover. Talk to Me was very good for like a debut film. I thought was really, really good.
I feel like it's all about the genre, like the form you choose, but more important is still about the story itself. So yeah, so right now my opinion is I'm not like against this form, this kind of short drama. I'm not against it. Like even though like people watch it only vertical, the space is quite narrow. It's quite quite strict, but I still think maybe it has its own charm that people keep watching it. So maybe for example, when I want to develop my own IP, I will try to maximize its own like benefit from this form. So that's what I'm thinking right now.
So you're not enjoying making that very much?
I think I enjoy some points. Like it's like working in bar, similar a little bit. So sometimes when you do some practical job and you kind of enjoy it, even though it's tiring, but you can just through your brain out of your body and just enjoying the things at the moment right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar.
Okay.
I like part of that, but I don't like if I want to develop the idea, I feel like there are so many restrictions. So, and also I have to consider a lot about the target audience and what the market will think. So yeah, that won't be quite positive for the creator.
I think that's how I feel about editing. Like you kind of, the brief's done, you know what it's supposed to be. You can just sort of get your head, you're not like considering a bunch of moving parts anymore so much.
Right.
You're like, chop, 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 get that pacing right, chop, 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 yeah, that flows into that, right, yeah, chop, chop, chop. It's like highly technical and detail oriented.
Yeah.
That's becoming an uncomfortable comfort zone for me. Do you know what I mean? I kind of want to be editing more than I want to be writing concepts and things. Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes you will enjoy doing technical job.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm also doing script supervision, so I kind of enjoy that more than directing someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like a very practical and technical job. It just needs you to remember everything and record everything, like mark everything, things like that. But I enjoy it.
But I think with all those limitations, it forces you to be creative.
Yeah.
Because if you had just like, if the world was your oyster and you could do anything for any length of time, you wouldn't know where to start. But you have all of these limitations. Like even the just the size of your image is a limitation itself. Like it's a lot harder to frame like a 2-shot without it being completely wide, you know. So I think it really does force you to work
Think
within those
differently.
limitations, and you know, if everything else within that format is really cheesy, you know, as a creative, you can try to work out what hasn't been done yet. That could be the next big thing. So I think it's quite cool.
Yeah, that's
by
a
the
good way
sounds
to
of it.
think.
Well, I mean, if I take it as a really like completely commercial thing, I won't think too much about creativity. I just get the thing done. Because I think that's simply like a healthy way for you to keep things running and then just do your job and get the money and then to do the things you really want to do.
But do you guys feel like you can separate your brain into two different brains? Like, it's hard, right?
It's hard.
I have to look at it and go, I liked it. Come on, there's a commercial we all like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some bit of bullshit like, you know, I don't know, I like Nike. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of commercial things that I personally like, if that makes sense. So I'll always make something that I'll always try and enjoy it, make it something that I would enjoy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's not always helpful. I'm not saying, I'm not going, oh no, I'm the purist. I always put the art into it. That's not what I'm saying. But because that doesn't always work. They're like, this is, you know, you're not making commercial music for yourself, or you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I find it really difficult to be like, okay, I'm just gonna tick the boxes in this brief and get it out. I just feel like my work's is less likely to get signed off. Even though putting myself into it is a problem in itself, if I can get into that state of I'm loving this and this is something that's for me also, then it's much more likely that the client's going to be like, that was great, and we'll come back, we'll pay you, and we'll come back. Do you know what I mean? That's far more likely.
Yeah, it's like I do a mixture of things. Like I've directed quite a bit of fiction, but I also like I mentioned, I'm a content creator. But then also especially when commercial work is quite quiet, I also do quite a lot of like videography stuff. So I do a lot of like branded content for social media, but also you know, like videos for like I do a lot of work with tech clients.
Okay.
So like internal video. Sometimes it might just be like the CEO wants to deliver a message.
Yeah.
But like I know a lot of people who are in a similar boat, especially like camera people who I work with on commercials who also do this kind of thing. But whenever I bring them onto a job like that, it doesn't matter if it's like just as well paid as a music video or sometimes it's even better. It's better paid than a music video or a commercial. I bring them onto a more corporate shoot and suddenly like everything's half-assed.
Right.
And it's almost like they feel like they're too good for it. But for me,
I can't stand that attitude. You know?
Yeah, I absolutely hate it. For me, I try to put all my energy into something. Like, it's as simple as it is. Like, we've been given a brief, we've got to like make sure we're executing it to the best we can. And if we can see something can be improved as a creative, like I'll go and do it. And I always get told by clients that compared to like other videographers that they worked with, they loved how much of myself I put into it, or like it's like often I'll conduct the interview for like client testimonials and stuff like that, instead of their so-and-so marketing person who doesn't have a lot of experience in this kind of thing. And I always get told like, wow, you made that so much easier. That was like so great. And I enjoy it. Like the end product, I don't enjoy watching back too much, but the actual act of like working with someone who's not used to being on camera and talking them through it and trying to understand what world they're coming from. Like I do a lot of work with Zoopla. I don't know anything about like the property tech world, but I use these interviews as a way to like put myself and like really learn about it. And I find that way, even when I'm like just thinking of new questions to ask them, I find I'm a better person to be asking the questions than someone from their internal like marketing or comms team. But yeah, I feel like if you dig deep enough, you can, with any film or video project, you can find something creatively fulfilling.
Yeah, definitely. As artists, particularly artists with cameras, right, where cameras and/or microphones, you have to care about people, don't you, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, you've got to kind of care about people and stories.
Yeah.
I have, however, met a lot of DPs who just care about lenses.
Oh, really?
Compared to
Really?
people,
Yeah, I can imagine that.
compared to people,
Yeah.
You can easily become like a commercial DP and be such a gearhead and just care about.
But that's
how
like
something
musicians. It's like you get fantastic musicians, but they care about scales and gear.
Yeah,
It's like, and you're fantastic, but you're also shit. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I think it's the people who really care about the human element of a project. They're the good people to work with.
Yeah.
I don't think that kind of DP would be a really good DP if he really thinks that way. Only think about tech, only think of technician or
Yeah, but it's almost like anyone with access to the internet can technically become proficient, you know. But I don't just hire a DP because I want someone who knows how to expose a shot or frame a shot aesthetically. I want someone who can help tell a story.
Yeah.
If I'm directing the piece, someone who can collaborate with me and help make the best out of this story in their department, visually through lens choice, through framing, through lighting. I don't want someone who's just going to be like, oh, I've got the new Dido, blah, blah, blah. I just don't care. I don't care what new toy you want to play around with. I'd rather someone who's actually going to aid this story. Yeah.
I agree with you. Because, well, I have seen people work in this way. They just care about, like, how can they, like, film something really nicely, but just ignore, like, the vision of the directors or, like, the playwrights or something. Because sometimes as a director, I don't usually use lenses that much, so I don't know, like, this amount of knowledge of that. But I would say I have some story to tell. I need to tell it in this way. Could you help me to achieve that?
Yeah.
This is my request as a director. So if I want to work with the DP, this person has to be like matched with my artistic vision, and also he has creative sides as well. We work together to improve the storytelling of the whole thing, not just like I tell you to do anything and then you finish the job, or I tell you to do this thing and then you finish the job in that way, which is not exactly the thing we want as a team. So yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of these roles, like as for example, like a good music, like who is it? Rick Rubin, right? You know, it's like a legendary music producer. Did the Beastie Boys, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Run DMC. Like he's like you know, kind of been behind the sound of hip hop from the 80s, like New York hip hop from the 80s through to he's still very much about now. I don't know how many records he's making now. Anyway, look, long story short, he was like, he has no technical acumen whatsoever, no technical sort of expertise whatsoever. So he doesn't know what's going on the mixing desk. He can't play an instrument. Like he can't describe chord progressions to you, and like. But he's like, yeah, that's good and that isn't. This has got substance to it, that doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And I think he was like, his whole thing is, he describes his ability as he's just got supreme taste. That's his skill. He's got, and I think DPs, you can get like a techie person, like a photography assistant to help you with the lens choice. The shot needs to look and feel like this. And then, oh, well, how are we going to do that? Well, you need this camera. And he's like, yeah, thanks, great. And put that together. I'm not sure if that's the cutting edge of the skill set of a DP is necessarily knowing exactly what lens and how. Do you know what I'm saying? You know if it's a tight shot or a wide shot. You know if it's going to be dark lit or. Do you know what I'm saying? Or like really burnt and overexposed. You can describe that without. That's my feeling on it. When people start telling you about bits of gear in either music or film, immediately I've got an amber light. You've just got yourself a yellow flag there in my head. You know, like if I hear a little bit too much about that, you know, that nerd voice, and it's to do with the gear and not the work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, all right, you've got an amber flag.
I think it's so common with camera people. I honestly think it's so common these days because like gear. I have my moments where I get really into the technical side as well. I basically, out of frustration with DPs I worked with early on, decided to learn more about cinematography. And the more I learned, like very, very quickly, I started to realize when we spent a large amount of our budget on that good DP, I started realizing the choices that they were making were just what was practically the fastest and the easiest for them. That was something. So this was like this was a short film I made when I was 18. We received quite a substantial amount through crowdfunding, and I knew nothing about camera. I didn't know anything about the camera. All I knew was I want this to look cinematic. I want a blurry background. I don't know how to achieve that. I want it to look colors. I wanted to be beautiful. So I hired this DP who shot a few music videos that I really liked, and I would just like say words at him like, yeah, for this I really want like the subject to be really isolated, like so maybe like a really shallow depth of field. Later on, I realized after learning a bit, he just left the same zoom lens on the entire shoot, just so he didn't have to like change lens.
Oh my god!
So he took 18-year-old me's budget and just like did nothing with it.
No way.
Wow, just made his life as easy as possible.
Yeah, I still consider myself as a director. I'm still quite like an actor's director. I love working first and foremost with the actors, but out of kind of like sheer frustration, I've taught myself camera and lighting, so I can at the very least kind of direct it a little bit in case they're just being lazy and doing what's easy or what's more, because it happens a lot. But at the same time, like I have an interesting story that was told to me by my old one of the guys who taught my film school. He was like in charge of the studio in our film school, and he in the 80s he worked on, I think it was called Firefox, an old Clint Eastwood film. And it was directed by Clint Eastwood, and he said working with Clint Eastwood as a director was the most like fascinating thing to watch, because he didn't give a fuck about the camera.
I've heard him basically goes, yeah, no, we're rolling, okay, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so he would work so much with the cast. He'd always stress that he'd love to do just a rehearsal with no one else in the room. So once the set is built, everyone else leave, get out. Like even like art director doing small little tweaks, get out.
Right.
Leave the space with just me and the actor. And then when the DP comes back in, he's just like, okay, so the blocking's changed completely. That would like annoy a lot of people, because now like their entire storyboard is changed. But he'd get incredible performances out of people.
Yeah.
But from my teacher's point of view, he was like a camera trainee in the 80s on one of these shoots, and apparently like he spent like ages working with the DP, planning out the blocking for some of these shots, and then Clint Eastwood came in about like 20 minutes before they started shooting, and he was just like, okay, so the camera maybe here, let's go. that was it.
What a legend!
Yeah.
What a legend!
And his stuff's great. Like I loved a lot of Clint Eastwood's movies.
What was the racially charged one that was named after a car? Gran Torino.
Torino, yeah.
Gran Torino.
That's great.
That's a great film, man.
Yeah.
Because you're stressed for all the right reasons in all the right places.
Mm-hmm.
Just tense for all the right reasons in all the right places. And then you're like, no! For all the right reasons in all the right places. Fucking brilliant film.
And you can rest at night knowing that he didn't give a shit about what images were being used. He didn't have any input at all in camera.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Didn't give a shit.
But no, he is like a director who is purely on vibes. He just says an emotion.
Right.
Or gives like the most minimal practical or technical direction.
Yeah.
And he's completely in the performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's also because he has an acting background, so it makes complete sense that that's how he would be. But yeah.